Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, this is going to be an inner union reading. We're going to go down the chakras and look at the energies in the collective on the central column. We're going to look at how the masculines are processing that internally and how the feminines are experiencing and processing it. So let's dive in. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the collective that joins us here? How are the masculines on the left and the feminines on the right navigating the inner union, the spiritual journey, the challenges that are presenting in the physical realm? How are they experiencing the as within, so without? As without, so within kind of energies at this time. One more deck for the feminines. Okay. Oh, I'm just giving a little update on Jello. I had her at the vet today and we're going to try a pain management process and we'll see how it goes. So we're hoping to get into the new year with some better pain management and we'll see what happens then. Okay, thanks for all your prayers that way, everybody. All right, here we go. So conscious mind or energies, if we tune into it on the crown chakra, connection to source, alchemy, ooh, frequent, ooh, the energy. Put ooh in the comments. The frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. I love the ancient energy here because this really brings us out of the modern constructs. It's so easy to get stuck in this reality, in our modern reality, as the only reality that exists. It is in many ways. We're in this present moment. However, we're free from all that. Humanity has not always existed at this time, in this day and age. We are ancient. We are future. We are not defined by set and setting. We're here to experience our divinity in it, but it doesn't define us. So this is the message of the crown chakra. This is a free-spirited energy to bring in that perspective of the magical. How are the masculines experiencing this? Wow, they're taking care of business. The masculines are figuring out ways to work smarter, not harder. They're really getting a handle on their karma as well. So they're taking their karmic patterns to the curb, I just heard. And how does that relate to the feminines? Wow, look at that third eye illuminated. The Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, which is the conflict of interest, the third party stuff. So they're taking karma out and they're seeing how this connection comes to the forefront when they clean up their karmic behaviors. What's left? The divine feminine. So this is on the crown chakra. The masculines are understanding that when they let go of all the lower vibrational attachments to people, places, and things, the one thing that is illuminated is how the feminine stands apart, how the feminine is the alchemical counterpart that they know on Most High, that you, divine feminines, are the one that matches their frequency when they let go of the burdensome ways, the cumbersome ways of navigating reality. You are in this other dimension, in this divine dimension. What can we see for the feminines navigating this? Oh yeah, in all the world, the feminines know that you are the one, masculines, that they would like to take on the world with, be, in alignment regarding everything that is other than the two of you. They feel two peas in the pod energy. And what else? Wow, putting down the burden. So we've got the Nine of Wands here for the feminines. They're surrendering to the things that need to play out, be released right now. Sometimes the Nine of Wands in the upright can be the uphill slog. But the feminines are also finding a way not to overextend or to look at things in a karmic way. They are putting down that wounded warrior energy and they're allowing what is to be fresh. So I'm getting, because this is the suit of wands and that is karma as well, that the feminines have put down I'm hearing obtruse energy, the war. They're not seeing themselves at odds with karma anymore. They're really allowing to put down that filter of victim and blame, and they're just taking care of business, whatever is needed in the moment. So there's an alchemical process. It feels like with the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands that the masculines and the feminines are sort of on the same page here. Oh, I'm also hearing that there's some math. So we've got a 10 of Wands, actually an 11, but that 1 wand is the masculines in this side. So we actually have sort of lopsided math, but we do have 10 wands for each. And so there is a tandem alchemy going on here. What can we see on the third eye? Realization. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. So as within, so without. So our heart-centered truth points us in the right direction out in the world. How are the masculines picking up on this energy? The Chariot. The Sphinxes are seated here. So they are poised and ready to move forward on something. So their highest expression in the world, they've got the engine running and they're ready to step into that on all levels in every shapes and forms. How does that relate to the feminine? They're opening their heart to the feminine. So as they step into their highest expression, they no longer remain in that closed off, aloof energy. This is emotional availability. This is the currency of momentum opening. Sometimes this card is the hoarding card. It's scarcity, it's lack, it's competition, it's capping things before they get off the ground. In the reverse like this, or the inverse, there's a willingness to include the feminine here. This realization about how the feminine is actually aligned, divinely aligned with their highest timeline. I didn't have eyes to see it when I was so locked in my karmic ways, I just heard. However, are the feminines experiencing realization, the world in the inverse? There's something about the end of this year, 2025, that may be a message. If you find this at a different time, my readings are timeless. The messages just need to apply to when you see this. So if you're seeing this, I'm recording in December 2025. So we are coming up to the new year, and I'm getting that at this time, for those tuning in right away, this is till the end of 2025, but it will be consecutive years whenever this finds you. And so the feminines know that there is something here that they don't want to fight uphill battle or up against the stream. They are realizing that as they become aware of their heart-centered truth, that a lot of the circumstances that they are experiencing are really for their highest and best interest. It's happening for them, not to them. And this really is a master test in this frequency till the end of the year. So there's something on the feminine's plate right now. I would say this emotion I'm dealing with, Jello, is one of the things for me in that sense. How does this relate to the masculines? Wow, overcoming the abandonment wound. So whatever the feminines are navigating, they know they have to focus primarily on their own karmic circumstances, karmic endings, karmic releasing, anything that they have fought against, labeling it karma. I'm even hearing everything is happening for the feminines right now, and they are not abandoning you, masculines, and nor are you being abandoned, feminines. Energy works this way. As we elevate in consciousness, grace is more of a conscious awareness in all things. So I'm getting this energy of grace with the realization on the third eye. our heart-centered truth, when it's accurate, there's grace in it, because that means everything that's occurring is in the highest and best interest of all involved for those who have eyes to see. There are karmic mysteries being solved. There is illumination coming in, and we're safe. We're safe. The connections are secure. The timing is everything. So the realization is we're formulating these heart-centered truth, this authenticity, and that's when the momentum happens in these connections. Everything has to play out emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, embodied, in order to have full alignment. What can we see on the throat chakra? Consciousness. Look at that indigo or that blue throat chakra color. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. So yeah, it's multi-processing right now. There's an awareness on so many different levels. It's not just the mundane. It's not just the material realm. It's not just the energetics. It's not just la la land. It's not woo. It's everything. It's all of it. It's reminding me of the messages a few times dotted in the recent 11/11 readings over the last few weeks, that a divine connection isn't just energetic stuff. It's not just material realm stuff. It's both. And so we're bridging. Some in the collective focus on the energetics. Some focus on the material realm. This is the merging of all of that embodied as a consistent, authentic, aligned, coherent way of life. Consciousness, how are the masculines experiencing all this multidimensional stuff? King of Wands, wow, this is my monogamous, shamanic, divine masculine. This is the spiritually realized masculine. Now this would be their highest timelines being embodied, stepping out in that way into life, as that version that the world hasn't seen yet. How does this relate to the feminines? Free-flowing emotion, emotional availability, again, is coming in this energy here. It's coming to the forefront. So there is a ease that the masculines are going to be bringing, because in the past, they weren't fully in their embodied self. They weren't as authentic. They had different masks, different roles in different rooms. And now they're coming in with this seamless energy. How are the feminines experiencing this consciousness, multidimensionality? Ooh, heck yeah. Oh, I know I'm feeling this. With the Ace of Wands, this is life purpose emerging on a whole new level. I have the Inner Union Women's Retreat coming up, and I am working on writing a 312 mineral and crystal oracle card set. I actually channeled them in 2016, and I've been editing and finalizing those. This is the first time since then that I've actually been working on them, and it's so exciting, you guys. And it's really advanced in the last 10 years. They're channeled messages. It's the namesake of my YouTube channel and everything, and we're finally at that time where this information can come into being. So you heard it here first, little plug there, but there's cards about teleportation and levitation and invisibility and all of that stuff. So it's going to be really good stuff, and it's practical application. It's basic stuff that any of you can understand and do. Anyways, I'm excited about that, but we're opening up into a brand new world of consciousness, of communicating on a whole new level, of life purpose, our time to shine. This is the time we all incarnated for, you all. How does this relate to the masculines? Okay. We've got the grieving card. Feminines are putting down the chasing, putting down the wondering, putting down the, the fight that way, and putting down the abandonment wound one way or the other. And they're really letting go of the grief and of this version. We've got the Three of Cups here with the emotional seamless flow, and we've got the spilled 3 cups here, but the 2 shall remain standing. So the feminines are in the process of letting go of all of those versions of the masculine that was not able to show up in balanced energy. It's all I'm getting, the nerves and the anxiety gone. This is feminines, time to let go of those versions of your masculine or yourself by proxy and just let go of any of that tension. Because as we come into the multidimensionality, we see how it's all exactly the way that it was supposed to have been. What can we see on the heart space? Solar plexus. Wow. So this is pointed downward. So I'm getting that the heart and the empowerment are being anchored, connected at this time, healed. So the solar plexus, that's the heart and the gut. We can see, okay, so frequency of solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as knowing who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So this really is the time to shine, everybody. This is a deep internal process with it coming out in the inverse. This is sovereign energy at this time. What are the masculines experiencing? Page of Wands, praying like never before. How is this related to the feminine? Ooh, that's the wifey card. So this is also the deep inner nurture. There's something about the masculines praying for their own healing, praying for their own reparenting of self. We just saw the masculines releasing the father from their shortcomings, and now this Mother of Pentacles energy coming in, and it feels like the hemispheres of the brain, the head and the heart for the masculines, this inner nurture, it feels like the portion that had to release the father and let go of expectations and forgive. It feels like the version of their mother that they would have needed. They're reparenting themselves in that void, at that letting go of the father left, or it's like an empty nester syndrome inside these masculines. But the reverse of the proper order of things, it's like a child that's having to let go of their parents. It's almost like an orphan energy going on, that the masculines are realizing the falsehoods of making, mere mortals, their parents, responsible for their current adult happiness. So there's a relationship to their empowerment, their confidence, taking their power back, showing up as the real them by releasing their parents from and forgiving their parents for their shortcomings. What can we see for the feminines regarding this process? Investment. Okay, 7 of coins. The feminines are taking from their life right now all the gems, all the wisdom, and putting it out into a prosperous new beginning. There's 1 pentacle highlighted here. So everything you've been doing in your chrysalis phase, feminines, is all culminating in this wisdom and this prosperity that you're bringing in, not through your sacred union directly in the physical, but because of your spiritual journey, because of the way that you have been investing in self and really looking at the fruits of life. How does this relate to the masculines? The Queen of Wands now. So this is the final bit, feminines, for you to come into thriving wherever you're at on that process. This is what you came here for, and all the sensitivities that you have embodied on this journey are all culminating into you showing the world the real you. So we've got both counterparts really coming out with their potential. And I'm getting, even because I've referenced like 10 years ago, these crystal cards, there are things under the surface that each one of us know to be true about ourselves, but that we haven't fully voiced. We haven't fully felt safe. We haven't fully found the words. We haven't fully seen ourselves able to come into the world unapologetically, fearlessly, beautifully free in who we truly are at a soul level, each one of us. So there is this empowerment, this motion we're all collectively bringing at this time. What can we see for the solar plexus chakra? Change. Change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can anticipate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. So we've got 2 references here. I've said grace in this reading, and the inner and the outer. So this is a time where we're bringing the inner outward. We're sovereign in this preparation, and it's like we're going to be meeting in a new timeline as our fullest, truest versions of self. And these journeys are so connected with that development, and we are in this preparation for sacred reunion. What a beautiful thing that we've met in a denser, older timeline, and we've gone into periods of separation to reinvent ourselves and to meet as though we're meeting for the first time. Obviously, there's soul recognition, but these new versions of self are going to be coming to the forefront, and we're going to be meeting as though we have fresh eyes to really see, to really embrace, to really feel each other. Well, how are the masculines experiencing this? They're letting go of the karma. So it's easier than ever for the masculines. I heard cutting a swath, coming through, get out of my way, go, get lost, out of my way. So they don't have the time of day. I'm getting that as these masculines come out, there's going to be a whole lot of people saying, hey, remember me? We used to be best friends, buddy. And these masculines are going to be like, I don't know your name. I don't know you. I don't know you. Yes, heck yes. So these masculines are finally knowing their worth. I just heard peon. Oh my God. These masculines don't care who they're going to offend or people please. They're not going to placate to awkward energy, to pandering, to false bravado, I just heard, or to flattery. They're no longer going to succumb to, groveling to these energies that are trying to put the guilt on, the shame on, the pressure. Wow. And so these are the same energies that would not have approved of the feminine. No more. This is why it's going to be so easy for the masculines to love you in broad daylight fully, no matter what you're doing, is because they no longer, feminines, feel like they have to keep up appearances for these pressure tactic, peer pressure, false players in this reality. These masculines have won that level, and they no longer give those energies credibility in their choices. How are the feminines experiencing change? Whoa, the devil. Wow, there's a bluebird of happiness here, and it feels like the feminines are about to break this chain through their own happiness, through feeling their own joy. That bluebird doesn't look strong enough to bust that chain, but the feminines are about to just come into such beautiful, pure happiness of spirit, peace, clear conscience, freedom, mastery, that the devil, the devil's just sitting there looking all scary with that skull and the mask on, and the bluebird here is like, the devil's not doing anything to me that I don't allow. This is, the lesson for the feminines, that nothing holds power over you unless you give it that permission. And so the feminines are taking their power back here, and this is the change. They're breaking the chains. They're no longer dimming their light or holding back because of illusion. How does this relate to the masculines? The wheel of fortune turns. It's not in the upright yet, but this is what is required. So the feminines have to break the chains, the illusion of chains. So feminines, there's something in all of our lives right now that has the illusion of power over. And whatever that is, do a meditation and figure out what that is so you can release it, so that this wheel of fortune change spins. Divine timing, divine intervention happens when it's in the highest and best interest of all involved. And one of the biggest things that's in our highest and best interest is learning these lessons of perception that says nothing has power over me. It's an illusion. I don't have to give my free will away. I don't have to be unhappy because of some perception that's not based in love and light and truth. This is huge for the feminines and the masculines right now. Again, we're seeing that tandem thing. Sacral chakra, freedom. The energy of freedom supports our sense of limitless possibility and potential, boundless expression, and bold exploration. Again, it came out in the inverse, which is a sovereign. It's independent. It's unique to each counterpart. And this is the creative chakra. The sacral chakra is where we bring our voice, where we channel the divine, where we live the Tao, where we are the art. How are the masculines experiencing this? Coming out of separation, they know that they're not apart from anything. They've experienced this connection, their karma, their healing, their purpose, that it's all interconnected. It's got multidimensionality. How does this relate to the feminine? This is the second chances, the second coming. This is them coming back around. This is what's required to end separation once and for all. This freedom, this liberation to love boldly, proudly, who they want, how they want, when they want, where they want. Yes. Wow, it's like cheerleading energy here for the masculines. Like, they really know that they have proved themselves to themselves. And this is the freedom required to say, hey, if you're complaining about my choices, you must not be doing okay, because, you know, people who care about how somebody else is being aren't doing so great in their own life, and they're being petty or they're trying to figure it out. Oh, I always have compassion here, because when people get into that, they do. They're hungry for truth, right? However, these masculines have seen through that. So they've probably realized that people who gossip, people who oppress, people who control, people who scrutinize, they are not as conscious as people who live and let live. They're not as conscious as people who really accelerate their own spiritual development and their joy and their freedom. And so these masculines realize that you feminines have cracked that code. They want to be aligned, partnered with somebody like you in this world, in this cold, dark world. I heard you are a light, and they're finding the light in them. How are the feminines experiencing the freedom? Wow, the Empress. So the feminines are on the verge of coming into, I heard, complete and total abundance on every level. So that's the inner happiness and the outer abundance. So this is the ease, the flow, the finances. Whoa, you just wait for 2026, feminines, I just heard. How does this relate to the masculines? Whoa, we got the same card again, this 5 of coins. Wow. So I'm getting that this masculine here is hobbling after the feminine, like they're, you know, trying to catch up, because the feminine feels like, you know, it's done, and here comes the masculine from the back up to the lead. It looks like the masculines are going to be coming in like battle wounded and ready and humbled and catching up just in the nick of time. So yeah, feminines, just as you let go, just as you head home, right? Or whatever that energy is there, just when you accept that it might not be what you thought it was, and you fully let go to your divine connection and say, whatever will be, this is when it comes in. And this is on the sacral chakra. So it's this freedom act. It's literally even being free from any binding with your masculine. What can we see for the root chakra? Miracle 33. 333 has been all over the last 2 days for sure. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. We are so divine. And this is on the root chakra, everyone. So this is really like bringing it into physical embodiment, bringing it into walking in miracles, manifesting in miracles, loving in miracles. How are the masculines experiencing this? Oh, they've got a decision to make. So these masculines are facing a very pivotal point right now, where the old them and the new them, or the old them and the expectations, or the cultural norms or something, are both falling short of what their heart is telling them. And they've got this blindfold on, and they're dropping in, and they're like, any external pressure or option doesn't sit well. I'm going to learn the tools to break the rules. These masculines have come into personal mastery, personal understanding of what works for them. And it's not like anything the world has seen, or that the old version of them thought they wanted to go towards. How does this relate to the feminines? Wow, they're feeling the love deep within. And what do we see for the feminines? The Chariot. So the feminines are anticipating and open to you coming forward, masculines. But like we saw, they don't know if that's actually going to happen. And, okay, the Moon. Yeah, the feminines are in deep surrender. they're hoping for a miracle regardless. They're not even just hoping, they're open and ready and willing and poised and praying about whether it's going to be you or somebody else, or if they're just meant to continue on in their life. There's a full surrender where they're actually not thinking about how, what, when, where, how. And there is a surrender. All right, everybody, many blessings. Bye for now.